Hello, chat. I hope you've got your bonnets at the ready for this watch along. Hey, I'm here with Rachel for this special watch of the 94 Little Women, which I know is on Prime UK. If you guys don't have it on DVD or whatever, on Laserdisc, whatever you're going for, I'm sure you can find it somewhere streaming. But if not, just hang out in the chat. But Rachel, what? Just remind the viewers, why are we watching this?
So we were possibly going to watch this for my birthday because this is my favorite film. Well, definitely one of my favorite films of all time. So we decided to do it for Christmas because even though it's not technically a Christmas film, there are definitely Christmas vibes all over this film. I mean, we're going to start at Christmas and you have the whole family feel. And so, yeah, we just thought it would be fun to do a little watch. I have seen this movie more times than I could possibly count. I mean, it would be in the high tens of thousands, most likely. I've been watching it since I was 10 years old. And Keith has seen it a couple of times. So
yeah, 2 or 3.
It's fun and wholesome. Yeah, and fantastic. Well, mostly fantastic cast, and you're going to hear my complaints about.
Okay. Well, yeah, save it, but it'll be fun to hear because it's always good if, even with one of your favorite films, you can have the odd nitpick, and I guess that's partly because it's your favorite book, so you've got that where you're gonna nitpick at certain things. So that's fine. And also, you said technically because it does start at Christmas, so that makes it, applicable maybe to the season. So yeah, we should say happy holidays, guys, and
Merry Christmas to all.
Because this is probably the last thing we'll be doing live before then, but there is a video going out Christmas Day, which I will post in the chat now, just to make you guys aware of it. And that is, we did our own top 10 animated movies list. So we both came up with our own top 10 and a variety of picks in there. But there's the link to that. That goes out on Christmas Day, along with hopefully a couple of 2 or 3 other things. I'll see how it goes. If I can't get it all out Christmas Day, some will be Boxing Day probably, but there you go. That one's definitely going out Christmas Day, so you can have a think about your own favorite animated movies and check out that list also. So we've both got the film lined up, so get the film lined up if you're watching with us. But just a quick question, because I know how much you adore the 2019 movie, but one thing I was and this is the last we will mention that movie because I jest, of course. Okay, that's cool, Becca. I was reading in the paper the other day because they do like a top 10 bit in like the film and music bit, and it was top 10 Florence Pugh performances. And her as Amy in Little Women did feature. Now, it wasn't very high because obviously she's done better stuff, performance. But, it was on the list. And one thing that said, so I'll see if you agree with this, but one thing that gave that film credit for was expanding her role for a bit more than it is in the book. Is that something you agree with? No, by the looks of your face.
No.
Isn't it a good thing to maybe expand a role which is a bit underwritten?
They don't expand her role. That's the thing. That claim is false.
Critics seem to.
It's so hard to. Yes, Columbia logo, Becca, that's where you want to be lined up. That's perfect. Look, Florence Pugh as older Amy, like Amy in the second half of the movie, she's very good. I think that she does bring the class that Amy has and the way that Amy's very self-assured, and she does get some of her character down, but I don't think they expand her character. She's definitely more developed in the book. I think it's that. Like, we'll talk about it a little bit when we watch this film, because older Amy in this film definitely needs more development. And I think maybe they're comparing it to this, but younger Amy in this film, Kirsten Dunst,
I think she might
is freaking perfect, absolutely perfect. And one of the issues with the 2019 film is that they have Florence Pugh playing Amy when she's 12, and it doesn't work at all.
Yeah, no, I can see that.
Yeah. No, look, maybe one day we should do the 2019 film, because then you can hear all of my like criticisms against it. But no, I don't think that Amy was
And
that
I think
well
there's
written.
a 40s film as well, which I've
the 40s one is actually not bad. The one
Not
with
bad,
Katharine Hepburn, that one is not too bad. This one is definitely the best adaptation, but even this one has issues. But this one is just so beautiful in like getting the feel of the book. You know how sometimes when you read Becca, I know some people prefer the newer version, and I mean everyone, each to their own, that's fine. But I am such a purist of the book that the new version just pissed me off too much. But there's a 2017 miniseries that is actually quite cute, which now that actually manages to extend a lot. That has Maya Hawke in it, and that one's actually quite
nice.
good.
Well, see, that was going to be my other point, is I can see what you're saying, but I think with a book, it's just realistic, then there is more time. You know, I think it's tough in a movie because you tend to only have like 2 hours.
Yeah,
so.
and I'll talk about that a bit in this one as well. But what I think this adaptation does beautifully is it gives you the same feel as when you're reading the novel. It gives you that warm family feel. I really think they get the characters down really well. The score's beautiful, and the costuming and the way this film looks is absolutely beautiful. I really hated the costumes in the new version.
Okay. Yeah, it's hard for me to really comment because I saw that one once, and I think I was very middling on it, but probably for different reasons than you are, because I'm obviously not coming at it from. But okay, we'll put the 94 one on, and you can raise these points as we go along as we watch this.
All right. Well, I am all ready. I think Becca's good to go. Hopefully we're all good. Keith can count us down.
Yeah, I'll count us down. Okay. 3, 2, 1, go. Rated 16 plus on Prime for alcohol use, apparently.
What? There is no alcohol use in this.
Well, we'll see. They seem to have found some somewhere, maybe in the background.
Mine is rated PG for 2 uses of bad language. I don't know what uses these are, but apparently there are 2 uses of it.
Oh, that's a pretty good production company, that Denova. They do quite a lot.
Yes.
Denise Denova.
Yeah. What was I found out she did just the other day? Oh, I can't remember, but Gillian Armstrong. Oh, her direction's beautiful. And oh my God, this score. This is one of my favorite movie scores ever.
I like this opening, like the anime. Oh yeah, I forgot Gabriel Byrne was in it. Great.
Oh yes.
Great actor.
Didn't like his casting when I was younger, because when I was 10.
But again, it's partly coming. Oh, Samantha.
Yes, Samantha Mathis is in this. Yes. Oh, this music is so beautiful. Claire Danes.
I think the first thing I saw Christian Bale in, oh bloody hell, it's the fake Marty McFly.
Yes, it is.
Has he always been? Oh, John Neville, he's in the X-Files.
It's a great cast, Becca. It's a really, really great cast.
Yeah, she loves her. But yeah, what was I going to say about
Christian Bale? First thing you saw Christian Bale in?
Oh, was actually Empire of the Sun, which is a film which I haven't seen for years. So I wonder.
He's very young in that
film, but I wonder how that.
No, this was my first introduction
Thomas Newman doing the music.
Oh, it's beautiful. Good. This was my first introduction to Christian Bale, to Winona Ryder, to Claire Danes, to Susan Sarandon. This was my intro to a lot of big stars.
And you've got Colleen Atwood, who is Oscar winning.
Oh, these costumes they're so well done.
You still see her name on things now.
Yes.
So very, very respectful.
See, like it just feels Christmassy. See, we've got like the
yeah, the bells it is a very festive opening.
And like I said, we open at Christmas. So does the book. The book opens at Christmas as well.
So Becca, have you seen this before? Russell said he hadn't. Have you? I'm not sure if she has or not.
Becca wants to know if either of us have seen Home for the Holidays. No, I haven't seen that one.
No, I've not seen it. It's actually directed by Jodie Foster. It was her first film as a director, and Robert Downey Jr. is in it.
Oh, okay.
And it's around the time he was having substance problems, and he's apologized apparently because he was a real pain on the set. But Yeah, I think that's what it is. I think she directs it and he's in it. But no, I'll have to check it out because I know she's directed 2 or 3 things. So oh, good cast. Claire Danes, Holly Hunter in it, apparently. Very good. I'll just turn mine up a little bit.
You can visit Orchard House in Boston. One day I will go.
That's where Spike got his idea for the blanket over the head when he runs in from
yes,
the
I'm
sunlight.
sure. You know what? Actually,
because similar colour hair as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's read it religiously. You know what I find funny about Claire Danes in a way, because obviously she left the My So-Called Life partly because she wanted to do movies. There were other reasons as well. I mean, I know it. You know,
it got cancelled, didn't it?
It got cancelled, but
it is a very young Kirsten, isn't it?
It's funny how you now think maybe her 2, in some ways, best roles is on that show and now in Homeland as well. It's sort of funny how, you know. And I always enjoyed her as Juliet in Rome, but it's been ages since I've watched that.
I don't mind her as Juliet, but there's issues with the way they write Juliet in that movie. Don't get me started. That's
well, the issues might be that it's an MTV style pop video version of Romeo and Juliet.
See, Christmas Carol.
I think you're a bit too rigid sometimes. You've got to accept adaptations, modern adaptations.
No, I do.
Watch my Romeo and
watch my Romeo and Juliet video, and you'll see that I acknowledge why they do what they do. I just personally prefer a different interpretation of Juliet.
Okay.
Look at little Kirsten; she's so tiny.
So this other actress is the one that's not really that well known, is
No, that's Trini Alvarado. She's done a few different things. She actually reminds me a bit of Andie MacDowell. She's always reminded me a bit of Andie MacDowell. But she's done a few other bits and pieces here in the 90s, but she was more she was a stage actress. But I like her as Meg, and I remember when I was younger thinking that she and Winona like really looked like sisters, like perfectly like sisters.
Okay, if you've got a bingo card, that's the second time Rachel has referred to the actresses as by their first name. like they're people she hangs out with all the time.
Well, Winona Ryder and I share a birthday. Okay, that gives us a bond.
That is pretty cool.
I love that about this adaptation is they include the cats, because in the book they keep cats. So I love that this adaptation has the cats.
Makes sense. Also, Trini Alvarado sounds a bit like an exotic fruit.
So it does, doesn't it?
Bonus
she does a small guest spot on an SVU episode, and like I said, she was in a few other 90s movies. But yeah, she really reminds me of Andie MacDowell.
Also, Becca, you should watch the Romeo and Juliet just for love me, say that you love me. Boom,
but nothing can beat Keith singing it.
Damn right.
I'm awake. Horrible piano. Is that sausage?
Even Winona Ryder looks really young in this, and I mean at this point she is quite well established.
She'd be 20.
What was she? 24? Oh,
22, 23, yeah. Now, Joe's supposed to be 16, so she's playing younger.
Who's playing Joe again?
So that's Winona. Winona's Joe.
Oh, really? Oh, yeah, sorry. Yeah. Is she the one who has the illness?
No, that's Beth.
Sorry, the spoilers, but I think most people know the broad
Most people know. I mean,
story, yeah.
it's kind of it was his sled moment. Like most people know about Beth.
And who's playing Beth again?
Claire Danes.
Okay.
Claire Danes is Beth. Oh, look at these girls giving their breakfast away on Christmas morning. Again, that's accurate to the book.
Yeah.
Oh,
cool.
Fine, I'll give the orange back.
What the hell does she just put the orange on? It looks like someone's ass.
I think it's bread.
in some places.
Oh no,
that's like
so terrible. Great. Now every time I see that shot, I'm going to think orange butt.
Straight in the butt. Yeah. It's time to get down.
Look at how young Christian Bale is. His little face. Oh, Meg being all proper.
Also, just one small thing about 2019. It was good. It was good seeing Chris Cooper in a movie because he's not in enough movies. Great actor. And he was in a Muppets movie, so he can do no wrong for me.
And God bless you and send
There's the true American Psycho riding by.
They've remade that.
No, it's pissing me off. They're gonna like just. What's the point? What's the point? The perfect version already.
Christian Bale is so perfect in that. He's like a freaking alien, man. He's so good.
It's some artsy fartsy director who just is too arrogant to realize that he can't do better. Because again,
for women too, Becca.
I know this is random, but like as someone who's read the book to American Psycho, I can confirm that movie is as faithful, as you're going to get in a movie. Bearing in mind, you have to adapt it because I mean, in the book, there's like chapters where it's just his shopping list or just so it's a very dense book. It's very in his head, character driven. So you have to obviously open it up a little bit for them. But it is very faithful, that thing as well.
Such a perfect movie. But
it sort of adds its own thing. So good. But no, it's very good. There you have it. American Psycho mentioned on the same stream as we're watching. Well,
you know what? No, it makes sense because it not only has Christian Bale, it also has Samantha Mathis. So there you go. See? So it's actually not that random.
Oh, yeah, I forgot she's in it. And quite an underrated Reese Witherspoon role as well.
Yes.
Very good.
Hello. You mind? Sorry, just my cat. Come on,
I take it you didn't, but did you know there was an American Psycho musical?
I did know that actually, and that is hilarious.
It's hilarious, but I want no part of it.
Yeah, Captain.
I wouldn't go, but it's just funny that they actually did it.
You don't think he'll try to call? Maybe he has a secret. A tragic European secret.
I did see, because we're on the sort of sidebar here, but I did see the ballet version of Edward Scissorhands. And
now that just sounds nasty.
Yeah, but it actually wasn't too bad. It wasn't too, because it's Matthew Bourne who's sort of done a lot of like fairy tales into ballets and it was better than you would think, but yeah.
Look at these girls creeping out the window at their next door neighbor.
But a lot of extras got paper cuts in that ballet.
Yes.
And if you get enough paper cuts, they can be deadly. That hat seems too adult for little Kirsten Dunst.
Well, they're all wearing dudes' clothes, so
Yeah. Fair enough.
This is their little thing where they pretend to be the Pickwick Society, which is from Charles Dickens. And when I marry, I'm going to be disgustingly rich.
I started reading Great Expectations earlier, actually.
Oh, okay.
Because I've never read it, and it's.
I find Dickens a bit hard to read.
Well, the only one I've read is A Christmas Carol, and that's obviously a really short book, and so that's quite an easy one to read. But so far, the chapter I've read, it doesn't seem too bad to read. Quite full on, because there's some dark stuff in that story.
Oh, there is, yes.
Yeah.
This is a mark of refinement, and I would say the Marches are the most elegant family in Concord.
But is this like this stuff with like these hats and stuff? Is it that partly what appeals because they are, there's bits where they are being a bit more against type,
Yeah, it's kind of like just that you see all these family moments and you see these little rituals that they do. They're dressing up as men, and it's just so cute.
Okay, so Becca, mine's on like 12 minutes 50 seconds. Rachel has hers on.
I've just paused mine. Mine's at 12:49.
Okay, so we're pretty much the same, but that's roughly where we are. So coming up 13.
Everyone's lucky but me.
And I'll just shout pause when my break comes on. Because there's one ad break, which isn't for a while yet.
Oh, I love this scene. Oh, I am so Joe. I know.
We haven't seen the Susan Sarandon character yet, have we?
No, we've seen Mommy. We saw her in the beginning.
Ah, okay.
Oh, I love this. Oh, Joe, it's just hair. You shouldn't have had me do it. I spoil everything. Good, I'm not going either. I'll never have any suitors. I'll just be a dried up old spinster. At 16. At 16, she's going to be a dried up old spinster. Oh man, I want to go to a ball. I don't we have balls anymore. I totally want to wear one of like these pretty.
Well, the only time you have them is sort of end of year, like
I know.
You know, like I went to mine. No, you know.
Oh.
Well, I was mad that there wasn't free drinks because you know, they deserve free drink because we'd already paid for the tickets and the tickets were like £20 and it's meant to be your end of year thing. So I think the drinks should have been free. But you know, I went with my best friend and a few others were there and it was fine. I mean, we had fun mocking the DJ, so you know. But you know, you do it once or twice in a lifetime, and that's about all. Well, you don't know. I mean, that's because you're romanticizing it because of things like this. But I mean,
yeah, no. When you actually think about this time, like the fact they didn't have any toilets or running water or anything like that, it's nasty. But look at these dresses. I just want to wear these pretty dresses. Look at how little Christian Bale is. He'd be like 21 here. Have you ever seen Newsies?
Little?
I just mean young.
You mean young? Have I ever seen what?
Newsies.
No, I think I've heard the title. I'm not really sure what it is though.
It's an early 90s Disney musical about the newspaper riots from the early 1900s, but Christian Bale is the main lead and he is only like 17 and he's adorable.
So is it animated or live action?
No, it's live action.
It's live action. Okay.
Also has Bill Pullman.
Okay.
She's completely bald in front. Thanks, Joe. We among artists and vagrants. I love their friendship, Joe and Laurie. So good. Were you born there? Where? In Italy. He insists I go to college. Commit murder to go to college. Yeah, you got to think about like the indiscrepancies there, like Joe not being able to go to study. It just sucks. Meryl Streep as Aunt March in 2019 was so wasted. So wasted. I know they cast her because they wanted a name, but Aunt March is barely a character.
Well, that's true, because if you think about it back in 2019, even though we think of that cast as being... I mean, obviously Emma Watson's was big because of Harry Potter, but I mean, I guess the others were more up-and-comers in a way at the time.
Oh, this dance. So good.
I mean, okay, so just on that, because you mentioned it there, What was wrong? Was the problem that Meryl Streep was doing the normal Meryl Streep performance?
The problem was,
and it didn't really fit the role.
Yeah, no, I mean, I didn't like the way Aunt March was written, but it was more that Aunt March is not a huge character. She's not the biggest character, so it was like it just felt like a bit of a waste casting Meryl Streep in a role that basically gave her nothing to do.
Okay.
I shouldn't wander in those shoes. Oh no! Don't touch my ankle! Don't look at my ankle. We must be very proper. No! Looking at the ankles. Oh no, Joe! She'll think I've been sampling the punch. Huh?
So is this the one who starts seeing Laurie?
No, Laurie ends up with someone you'd never expect him to. And again, in the book it works, in the movie not so much. Oh, Amy.
Well, I hope it's not young Kirsten Dunst, because that would be very dark. But maybe older Kirsten Dunst. Oh, I'll keep guessing. No, I won't guess. I'll just wait and see. It's been a while.
He put snow on her ankle with his own hands. When I was younger, I didn't understand that. I was like, why is that so scandalous? And I got older, I was like, oh, okay, no, I get it.
So is this also your favorite Christmas movie, if it counts as a Christmas movie?
Oh, no.
Or is it something
else? I don't really count it as a Christmas movie.
Okay.
I think my favorite Christmas movie would be The Holiday.
Yeah, I mean, I know we did the top 10 a couple of years ago, but I can't actually remember what your number one was.
I think The Holiday was my number one. I really love The Holiday. But I also love, I know it's problematic as hell these days, but I still love Love Actually.
Yeah, sure. I mean, I think the thing with that is anything that's like 20 plus years is going to have some dated elements.
Yeah.
It's just some things age better than others.
Oh, here's Eric Stoltz. This is the one piece of casting I do not like.
Oh, no.
Of our confining young girls to the house bent over their needlework and restrictive corsets.
I think that's a good way to describe The Holiday, Becca. Probably better than expected.
Young student is an athlete.
Rachel definitely overrates it, but
I do not.
No, I think you do. I don't think it's as good as you make.
Fantastic cast, beautiful story, gorgeous music. Nancy Meyer at the helm, always good. It's fantastic.
People always have to correct me when I'm saying Eric Stoltz.
Eric Stoltz?
Stoltz. Yeah, I can never say the surname right. People have to keep correcting.
I hate his casting in this movie because the character he's playing, John Brooke, is Laurie's tutor. And John Brooke is supposed to be sweet and humble and kind.
Be a serial killer, right?
Yeah, and in this one, he's just a creeper. Oh, you call doing laundry and housework?
Yeah, she is. I think Nancy Myers needs a good script, basically.
I've never seen a Nancy Meyer film I didn't like.
Okay. Yeah, but I think she's just a serviceable director. I don't think she's anything special as a director.
I wouldn't call her.
I mean, I'm a bit more with Becca. I think she is up and down, but like, it's not like I think Nora Ephron was a great writer. R.I.P. Was a great writer, and I think if you had a Nancy Myers film with a Nora Ephron script, it would go a long way to making it a good film.
Well, what films of hers do you think are not as good?
Well, I think, I didn't really like It's Complicated. I just thought
Really? Oh, I thought that one was so cute.
I enjoyed bits of it, and I enjoyed certain little roles. Like, I quite enjoyed John Krasinski's part in it. I enjoyed, because at the time, it would have been around the time when I was watching The Office for the first time. But, I didn't really find the humor that funny overall. And a lot of it was just, we've been there before, really, apart from the fact that they were doing a little bit of, okay, they're older couple type thing. But even that had been done a bit in other movies. But it's just mediocre. I'm not saying it's terrible or anything, but it's just
fair enough.
mediocre.
We'll have to agree to disagree. I think Nancy's really good at what she does. Like I said, I haven't seen a movie of hers that I don't like. And I think in particular, The Parent Trap and The Holiday are really, really fantastic.
Okay, there you go. So the Parent Trap is her best movie. Then I'll say, and I think that there's something to that where she's probably able to take something which the original version was like the 60s or 70s or something, and you can update it and change it and make it, modern. And I think sometimes that's why that movie works so well, maybe.
I also really liked Something's Gotta Give. I thought that one was really cute.
Oh yeah, I have heard solid things about that. So
good cast.
I'm not seeing that.
Frances McDormand, Keanu Reeves, Jack Nicholson.
Oh yeah,
really
well, Diane Keaton is a legend. I think you both rate both higher than I would, which I take it you mean it's complicated and. Oh no, Becca, if you're attacking The Parent Trap, you're just wrong, because that's a great
awesome.
Yeah, that's a great showcase for Lindsay Lohan, and also it's just a good example of a good family film, like you very rarely get nowadays. And I mean, if it doesn't work for everyone, like if it doesn't work for people over the age of teenagers, that's fair enough. But for the target audience, I think it works really well. And I think
it still works. I mean, I know adults still watch that film.
Yeah, I easily, when I put it on, I enjoy it. Meg Myers I think Efron is a very savvy writer, and she is very good at bringing her own experience, because like what she wrote When Harry Met Sally.
Yes, I love When Harry Met Sally. I know everyone loves that movie, but I really didn't like it when I finally got around to seeing it. It just, I'm sorry, but Billy Crystal's character, I spent 80% of the movie wanting to punch him in the face.
No, but like he has an arc. I think that's the point of the movie. Oh, Becca, I'm going to kick you off the stream. But anyway, the point I was making is that film was based on a relationship Nora Ephron had in real life, and they sort of did this clever thing where, like, I think it was co-written with Rob Reiner or something, and I think he might have took care of the male side and she took care of the female, but.
Yeah, when it comes to Nora Ephron, the only film of hers I really love is Julie and Julia. I really, really loved that one.
Oh, I need to see that, but that
you haven't seen that? Oh, you definitely have to. Although you will get so freaking hungry watching that movie. So hungry.
I'm sure. Okay, if someone donates, I'll do the Meg Ryan fake orgasm. No, I'm joking. I'm not going to get you to, but I might do it anyway. Maybe I'll end the stream with it, even if someone doesn't donate. I'll have what she's having. I'll run film. So.
I really also, this film, more than almost any other adaptation, I really feel the sisters' bonds. Like, I think the chemistry between the actresses in this film is the best. And they really feel like they're a family, like they're sisters. It's just beautiful. Ugh, shut up, John Brooke. My apologies, creeper. And I love John Brooke in the books. And John Brooke in the books is beautiful. And here he's just creepy Eric Stoltz.
Thanks, Rachel. My thank you very much. But my emotional blackmail trick paid off gloriously. Okay. And that actually works, because when you log on to the Buffy boards, there's a little surprise for you waiting.
Oh.
Don't look now, look later.
Okay,
but,
we'll go after.
But that's, so we've both paid out.
Making a face at Eric Stoltz. Look at him walking away here examining his fingernails. Like, what the hell is that? That's like nothing that John Brooke would ever do. John Brooke is humble and sweet.
Okay, this is tough because I can't do the whole thing, but starts feeling my face. So something like that. Huh? Oh. Oh.
Oh no.
Yes. Yes.
This is becoming a very X-rated
This
stream.
film is amazing. Yes. This is the best film ever. Yes. 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 What? I said I was going to do it.
Oh, no.
Yes. Yes.
I'll have what she's having.
Thank you. Fuck me. I might have to take my jumper off now. That was wild.
Rodrigo.
Thanks for the tip, Rachel.
I'm exhausted of being the boy.
I can't believe Cindy isn't around to see that moment. Maybe she's hiding in the chat. She might not know.
Winona, you know what? You can put a fake beard on Winona and she still looks gorgeous. Great. Now we're getting a striptease to go with things. This is becoming a very X-rated stream, people.
Oh, okay. So I've got my Dharma Initiative T-shirt on.
Oh, nice! I love it.
And this is aimed at Becca. This is the show you are so wrong about, Becca.
Becca doesn't like.
No, you know, because she made the comment on the Buffy.
Oh, that's who Becca is. I never knew. Okay. Yeah. All right.
Yeah, I assumed you hadn't connected the two.
No.
Okay.
I'll be the judge of that.
Season 1's not even the best season, Becca. It's like season 4 or 5. They're probably like the best. And obviously season 3 is the best finale, even though it obviously has some rough episodes in the middle.
Bad season, great finale.
Well, I don't think it's bad. I think that's a bit extreme. There's a lot of good stuff in season 3.
Actually, no, you're right. There is some. I don't love that first handful of episodes that's on the second island.
That stuff does.
That drags out. But once they get back to the Losties, then
yeah. Because I even don't mind Razzle Dazzle. That episode. That's season 3, isn't it?
I know you're talking about the Paolo and Nikki episode, aren't you? That everyone hates. Is that the one you're talking about?
Yeah, I enjoy it. It's perfectly fine. It's perfectly enjoyable. Obviously, the worst episode of the whole show, without doubt, is the tattoo episode.
The Jack one where you find out about his tattoo. Yeah, no, that one is. No one likes that episode.
And that actress is Poison because she's also in probably the worst episode of Angel.
Yes,
that's amazing.
Yes, Bai Ling. Yes. Oh.
And she's probably a perfectly fine actress.
I was going to say she's probably a perfectly good actress and she's really pretty, but
it's funny that.
So you know what I love about the costumes in this movie is the marches are supposed to be poor and they reuse dresses. So you actually, I think Winona talked about like behind the scenes, she only had like 3 or 4 dresses for the first half of the movie. And I think that's, that's really realistic because in this time, and especially if you were poor, you wouldn't have, numerous amounts of dresses. And what's also gorgeous is you see the younger girls wearing clothes from the older girls. So like, passing down clothes and just the way they use the costumes in this movie. So good. I've got to do a video on it. You'll be sorry for this, Joe March. I remember Kirsten saying she had just come off Interview with the Vampire when she did this movie. So she channeled a little bit of Claudia for Amy's brideier moments. But I remember she also talked about going from the Interview with the Vampire set, which was like all men, to this set, which was like all women, and how different it was and how she really loved coming into like a female atmosphere and having all the support of like the older girls and, idolizing them as like big sisters and stuff.
Yeah.
Winona is way too petite to play Jo. Jo is supposed to be really tall, but what Winona really does get is Jo's physicality. Like she's so clumsy and she's so like awkward, and that's basically what Jo's supposed to be like. So she really is my favorite casting. For Jo.
Can I just say something? Because I keep forgetting to tell you, but this is just on a Lost theme. This is, all these like people like looking for like not tie-ins and nods to like the numbers and one of the most hilarious ones I've heard of, and I'm not sure if you've heard of this one, but apparently like when they're down in that like the hatch and they've got the shower, apparently there's like someone actually counted this, apparently, if it's true, but there's actually 48 holes in the shower.
I'm pretty sure that would be an accident, but okay.
But I just love that someone actually counted that. That's pretty funny.
That's awesome. Good night. Go away, creepy Eric Stoltz. No one likes you.
They should just play the Hugo music every time there's a nod to those numbers. Boom, 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 boom.
I was absolutely inspired by the love scenes. Mwah. Our siblings. They're the same in any time period. Siblings are assholes to each other. Still sulking. My best friend is a youngest child, so she really identifies with Amy, and Amy being left out of things, and Amy not being able to like go to the theater and stuff. Whereas I'm an eldest, so I am like, Amy, back off.
Whereas, I am. I'm a younger. So we said this when we were talking about Dawn and Buffy. We approach that a little bit.
But I mean, come on, she burns her story because they wouldn't take her to the theater. And this wasn't like today when she could just recover it from like a flash drive. Like, that's her whole story gone. I don't blame her for like, oh, poor Amy. Again, siblings. I'm pretty sure I've done this to my siblings.
And that's a universal thing. We'll all be fighting with our family this Christmas. Happy holidays, everyone.
That's understandable. Again, it's not like today when she could just recover it. Like that's so many years of hard work just gone. Poor Beth. Poor Beth has just been sleeping. She wakes up to like the house on fire. Like, what just happened? Oh. The wigs in this too. Oh, the wigs in this.
Oh, that's a good little transition from the fire to the hair. That's a good little link.
Oh, that's cool, Becca. No, my family generally gets along too, but my siblings and I, we're very sibling-esque. So we love each other, but we're all assholes to each other as well. My sister's favorite thing. Yeah, sorry.
I think it's just that thing of like, you can okay, break, pause, everyone.
Okay.
Oh no, hang on.
Oh.
No, unpause.
Okay.
It's one of these random Amazon thing where technically the break is just them saying the movie will be back on after the break.
Oh, okay.
So it's not actually an advert, it's just them saying that.
Well, I've got Joe and Laurie ice skating on my screen. We're still around.
Yeah. No, it's fine because it was literally just a second.
Oh, this scene is done so well.
Yeah, no, all I was going to say is it's just one of the things, you pick your friends, you can't pick your family. And, obviously Christmas does throw up little dramas with family, especially if it's a family that don't see each other throughout the year really very much. Like we're traveling for Christmas, obviously.
Uh-oh, indeed, Becca. Uh-oh, indeed. Just this scene. Oh, it's done so well.
Well, it's better than that terrible Buffy and Angel ice skating scene.
I know, you really hate the ice skating date. I don't know why. It's so cute. I just think they did this scene so well with like this. Yes, cold, Becca.
This
but
is a good
the fact
scene.
that you don't see her fall, you just hear the scream and the crash of the ice. I just think it's done so well. And the first half of this movie is so incredibly close to the book. Like all of these events are straight from the book. They're done really, really well.
That's cool. I'm not sure. Have they ever done like a Final Destination type thing under the ice? I don't think they have yet.
No, actually.
That could be
interesting. One. Yeah.
Maybe the new movie should get on that.
As if she even noticed.
It's coming out May, by the way. We finally got a release date. It's coming out May. So not too long. Although I hate the subtitle. It's Bloodlines.
Oh no! Like Wrong Turn. That never works out well.
No, so many crap sequels are called Bloodlines.
Oh, I want all the kitties. I want all the kitties. Look at the kitties. I just love cats. I would have 1,000 cats if I could. I'm so lucky that I found Stephen, because otherwise I would be a crazy single cat lady. I'm so grateful I found him.
Fair play. I mean, I miss having cats, but it's just because we got in the habit of having dogs, and you know, it's harder when the dog is there first to then introduce the cat. So, yeah. But I do miss. We've had cats in the past.
Look, I love both dogs and cats. I'm just a tiny bit more a cat person.
Yeah, that's fair. And to be fair, that I think that gets underrated because so many people are like more pro dog. I always enjoy the Robert De Niro speech about why he prefers cats to dogs. You know, in Meet the Parents, he does a whole.
Oh yes,
because dogs are shallow, looking for your affection. Yeah, I do.
Yeah, I always say I love dogs, but dogs are whores. They'll give it away to anyone. Cats are very selective. And the thing with cats that most people don't realize is, look, yes, they're distant if they don't know you, but if a cat knows you, oh my God, they are the clingiest ever. Like, my cats are literally by my feet right now. So, yeah.
Plus, I'm a slacker, so I do enjoy the convenience of, you know, the cats let themselves in and out. You just feed them, they're around, and whenever they want to be.
I'm pretty sure I've mentioned this, that just going back to the movie, but Joe March is one of those characters that I like really identified with when I was younger, because I was tomboyish, I was unladylike, I was gangly, I could never say the right thing, I was always, you know, just flailing about. So yeah, Joe, and I'm a writer, I love to write. So Joe and I, she was always the sister I identified with the most. But I also identify a little bit with Meg being the eldest and knowing what it's like to be the eldest. Yes, fellow tomboy Becca. Oh, I love.
Who's that actress with the sort of reddish hair who's just appeared? She was talking a minute ago.
Hang on, this chick?
Her,
this chick here? Yeah, I'm not sure who she is. I think I've seen her in a few other 90s things, but
she does look for. Is she only in this scene then?
We saw her earlier in the Christmas scene as well.
Okay.
But yeah, she's one of Meg's rich friends that makes her feel bad for being poor. They have views on slavery. Are those views that slavery is bad? Oh, that's actually kind of interesting. That line that she says there, was it true that your father's school closed down when he admitted a little dark girl? Not in the novel, but that actually happened to Louisa May Alcott's father. Ran a school and they admitted a black child, and the school closed down because it was the 1860s. And
oh, shit, yeah.
Yeah, but I kind of like that they put that, you know, into the movie as like a little nod to what actually happened. Also, I want that dress. So yes, I am a tomboy Becca, but I also have a huge girly side as well that makes me want to wear dresses like that. Just around the house.
But that's the point, isn't it? Women should choose.
We should be able to.
They should be able to do both if they want to. But if they don't want to, that's fine as well. You know, it's about choice.
Look at this little shit of a kid.
I do love the dress as well. What did he just spit out?
A grape.
Yeah. Are they all
throwing grapes at them?
They're all throwing grapes. Okay, this must
little
have been
snots.
The old school version of knocking on someone's door.
Yes, Soul Sisters, Becca, but we've got to get you on board for the rest of Lost before we can be true Soul Sisters. Also, I want this dress. This dress is so beautiful and so incredibly 1860s, and compared to the atrocity that they put Emma Watson in the 2019 version, oh, this dress is beautiful. Can you see what I mean about the Andie MacDowell resemblance with Trini Alvarado?
Oh yeah, definitely.
Yeah, she really reminds me. I actually thought they were the same actress for a while when I was younger.
And one day when we do a Lost character ranking, just watch me try to get Nikki and Paolo ridiculously.
No. Poor Meg. Oh, look, these two girls don't have a partner. Oh, this dress. I want this dress.
And that's just something to flag up for the future, guys. So we're no timeline on this. We don't know when, but you know, in the future, I am going to be doing more on Rachel's channel, and you know, we're going to be doing some live streams together over there and things like that.
Some character rankings.
Some character. So just a tease for the future.
4 proposals and 20 pairs of gloves. all about the gloves back then. Hey, I've got gloves. I'll fit right in.
I've got a pair of leather gloves, which my nephew bought me a few years ago. I still haven't worn them because most winters I obviously tend to wear woolly gloves. But like, yeah, no, I'm maybe going to go for the... and I have to be careful saying this word on stream, but it's the surname of the Breakfast Club character, Bender. So in that context, I can say it because now it's a negative. In the UK, that's a negative name to call someone who's gay, but it's his surname. It's his weird surname. Because Americans have weird names. But yeah, I might go for a Bender type thing with the whole leather gloves.
Nice. Halt and Catch Fire. Okay, don't know that one.
She mentioned it before when you're on one of my streams.
Okay.
Like I have seen the first couple of series. It's good from what I've seen. It's AMC show, sort of.
I really hate that I am now Susan Sarandon's age, like in this movie. Like I am her, how old she was.
Oh yeah, that's funny when that happens. Which means I might be a little bit older than she is because I've obviously got 5 or 6 years on you.
Just 5. Don't add the extra year. Just 5.
I know. I do like the title of that show because it's like halt and catch fire.
Yeah.
It's like you're telling someone to stop and then set themselves on fire or something.
Oh, when we get to the second half of this movie, there are going to be tears. Just a warning.
Okay. I mean, I only really cry at the scene where Chucky and Tiffany get it on in Bride of Chucky. That's about the only... and the end of 6 Feet Under. I mean, those are pretty much the two things I had.
Oh man, I cry in everything. And this movie, I was 10.
And when I was younger, I died when... Sorry, I died. I cried when Auntie died in Oh, Honey, I Shrunk the Kid. You know the aunt? Right? Yeah. Have you not seen that movie?
Yeah, I have, just not for years and years and years.
No, that
you didn't cry when Mufasa died? In The Lion King?
Well, it's been years, so maybe I did, maybe I didn't, but...
No TV deaths make you cry? There are so many TV deaths that make me cry.
No, I think I do sometimes. I would have
Doyle
to think.
On Angel? Oh my god.
Well, I don't want to say too many because they're spoilers. But,
then spoilers, yeah.
But no, yeah, you get into the thing, and that was obviously a really well done death, and so yeah. But there are some. Okay, I'm just... Okay.
John Brooks stole your glove.
Okay, so here's a really random ship because we were talking about ships earlier. So on The Good Wife, there's a character played by America Ferrara. And her character is actually...
Ugly Betty? America Ferrara?
Yeah. She was in the Barbie movie last year. But like, she's not in it all the time, but she appears from time to time. And there's actually a romantic link between her and the Eli character, who's Alan Cumming. And
okay. Interesting.
And they have really good chemistry. I really like them as like a ship. I know, Becca, you've seen The Good Wife, so I wonder if you have a view on their ship sailing. But
oh, here's creepy John Brooke again. So annoying because I love John Brooke in the book. It's just Eric Stoltz. Bad casting. Bad casting in a movie that is full of fantastic casting. Oh, here comes Joe.
Oh, I forgot about the bit when she
You're one beauty. It's like, come on, Amy. Kick a girl while she's down, why don't you?
Oh, did they mention the movie title?
Yeah.
They clearly did.
You know what I love is there's a Simpsons episode where they're reading Little Women, and they say this line in there, which like anyone who's seen The Simpsons now believes that that's actually the last line of Little Women, but it's not. So basically, as they're reading it, they're like, and then they looked around and they saw that they were no longer little girls; they had become little women. It's like that's not the line, but like everyone now thinks that's a line from the book.
Oh, that's funny. That is funny.
My hair. I would cry too if I cut off that much. I mean, my hair is like Joe's, and if I cut this off to like that length, I would be crying too. Even if I did it to send it to my father who was injured in war, I would still cry.
So is this now meant to be like sort of autumn?
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah, because of the pumpkin and
yeah.
Okay, cool.
Fry the Hummels. You spent hours there last week.
I was playing a RoboCop game.
Hate money.
Oh.
Your potatoes.
Your potatoes.
So their lunch. They need it. They need their potatoes. I also want Claire Danes' cloak. Oh, poor Claire Danes in this scene. So we're about to see a baby in this scene, and the baby is screaming. That was for real. The baby was actually screaming. And when you see Claire Danes start to cry, that was her actually crying because they put the screaming baby in her hands and she didn't know what to do with it. So the poor girl.
Understandable.
It's like method acting.
Method, yeah, very nice.
So yeah, here, this poor baby is screaming for real, and poor Claire Danes is crying for real because she's like, what do I do with this baby? I'd probably start crying too. And I'm 38, so 39. So, you know. Oh, poor Claire Danes. Becca, I'm sure you look gorgeous with short hair. I, however, do not look good with short hair. It's not a good look. My face gets too fat.
Well, I mean, I wasn't going to be that harsh, but I think you're definitely someone who looks better with longer hair.
Yes.
I'll say that. I mean, as long as it's not too short, I'm sure you can make it sort of work. But no, I think long hair suits you.
I'm an author. Beth? Oh. Poor Beth. She does not get that much characterization. Even in the book, she doesn't get that much. I think because the real Beth, who did die, I think that Louisa wrote her part in the book as kind of a catharsis, to remember her younger sister. So Beth doesn't actually get that much characterization. She's more just kind of the perfect character in the book. It's a little sad, actually, that she doesn't get more characterization.
Mm-hmm. Oh, okay, that makes sense.
That's right. They're sending Amy away so that she doesn't get scarlet fever. She has to go live with Aunt March, which you don't want to do.
So what, just because I'm not that familiar with scarlet fever, is that something we still have now, or is it like
No, it's not a thing anymore. No. Okay. I think it died out after the late 1800s.
Okay.
Yeah. Little Kirsten is so cute. She is my favorite Amy, my favorite on-screen Amy. She's just perfect as little Amy.
Except for Florence Pugh, of course.
Oh yeah, of course, yeah. Yeah, because a 21-year-old playing a 12-year-old, that's believable.
Hey, I've seen worse.
Well, you've got Grease, where you've got like 45-year-olds playing teenagers. Even as a 4-year-old, I couldn't buy the teenagers in Grease. Why are you promising a 12-year-old? Yeah, anyway.
So Becca, well, anyone in the chat, any plans for Christmas? Becca, you've got any plans? Are you?
Becca says Scarlet Fever's still around.
Yeah,
well, I don't think people die from it anymore, though.
No, I just wondered if it had been renamed, like if it was still
around.
Oh,
yeah.
But there's probably similar. Yeah, any plans for Christmas, Becca? Are you traveling to family, or are you staying where you are? Family coming there? So I'm going away on Friday for a week to stay with my brother.
That's cool.
Me and my mum, and yeah. Well, Rachel already knew that. I'm just saying it for the purpose of the stream. And Rachel's going to Sydney, aren't you, for like a week or a few days?
No, we're only going for a few days, just a couple of days. Yeah, just up to my sister's. Yeah.
Very nice. Yeah, that's interesting.
Oh man, you talk about bleeding her here. I always think of like, oh my god, you got to think about like these archaic things that they used to do back in the day for like illness. I think the bleeding is like one of the weirdest things. The way that they would think that they would bleed the disease out of them. Oh, sounds like Becca's doing some traveling too.
Very nice. Yeah, I forget where Becca's from. Is Cleveland near you, Becca, or is it quite a trek?
Oh, half an hour drive's not too bad.
That's pretty cool. Takes us about 4 hours overall, 4 hours 20, something like that on the train. So that's not bad considering it's sort of halfway across the country. Country from where we are. Pretty fast trains.
Is Trish your partner, Becca?
Cool.
Oh, this part used to make me cry when I was younger.
Yeah, cool.
Oh, it's nice that you guys get to see both of your families at Christmas.
Yeah, that works out nice. Becca, please tell me, by the way, that you occasionally call her Trish the Dish, because if you're in a relationship with someone called Trish, that's just a must.
Oh, I love the scenery in this movie too. Period dramas from like the 90s, great scenery. Like this one, Sense and Sensibility, is beautiful as well. It's just gorgeous.
Yeah,
the 1992 Pride and Prejudice.
Very good version of that.
Yes, Sense and Sensibility from the 90s. Oh, Kate Winslet, Emma Thompson, so good.
Yeah, Ang Lee, one of his best films.
Yes.
Emma Thompson wrote the screenplay as well.
She did.
That's very good screenplay.
And she deliberately, once they cast Hugh Grant, she deliberately wrote a kiss into the screenplay so that she could make out with him.
Very nice.
See, we're back at Christmas now, so definitely get a Christmassy feel with this movie.
Pretty big theme, yeah.
See, now this dress that Beth is wearing here, this red dress, this is the dress that we saw Jo in at the Christmas party earlier in the movie. So, like I said, they reuse the dresses, which I really love. Freddie Vaughan.
Does that tone say you're not a Freddie fan, or were you?
I don't mind Fred Vaughan. He's a bigger character in the book. Okay. He'll become significant in the second half.
Okay.
Oh, her piano. He gives her the new piano.
To my little girl. What did he say after that? Something about a Venus or something?
No, he had to leave us when she was very young. In the book, it's explained that that's his granddaughter, so possibly Laurie's younger sister, who died when she was very young. Which is kind of depressing when you think about it. That means Laurie's lost his entire family because both his parents are dead. That means his younger sister's dead too. With bells of harmony, la 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 la.
Good bit of boogie woogie on the piano for the Christmas season.
Well, we got to have a Christmas carol.
Yeah. Oh, okay. She's going for it.
Yeah, Aunt March is getting into it. It's like you can hear Jo singing.
Like a drunken relative at a Christmas party.
See, it's not Christmas without some drunken relatives singing Christmas carols.
See, there must be like alcohol in this scene or something. I think that's where they got the alcohol warning from.
John? Mary? I mean, that pokey old Mr. Brooke? How do you weasel his way into this family? Joe's such a dick. He's tall as powder. Meg, can't you at least marry someone amusing?
She's got a good point. I mean...
Marmy, you can't just let her go and marry him.
She even looks disgusted eating the apple. That's how disgusted she is.
Joe's not happy. Why must we marry at all? Why can't things just stay as they are? Such a sibling moment. I'm not spoiling anything. That's a good looking pudding.
Yeah, again, like I don't know if they made the pudding for the film or if it's like a design or a prop, but it does look good.
This scene. And that's taken straight from the book. Amy falling over and hugging her dad's boots.
Just a question, like maybe he looks older because of the beard, but is he like a little old for someone who's got like this younger, like daughters?
He does look a bit older than Marmy does, definitely. But we only see the dad a couple of times, so yeah.
Mm-hmm.
He is supposed to be older in the books, though, because in the books they mention that he is too old to go as a soldier, so he actually goes as a chaplain to the war.
Okay.
But the adaptations usually leave that out. I understand why. It's not really relevant.
No.
What are you making out in dark corners for, Meg? That is highly improper for 1860. Making out with creepy Eric Stoltz.
Wait, which one's Meg again? Is that Claire Danes?
She's the eldest. Trini Alvarado. There's Meg.
Oh, no wonder her career didn't really pan out. She's got questionable taste in...
Mm-hmm. Is it wonderful, Jo? Is it? And now we have a time jump. Because that's the book as well. So the original book ended with the dad coming home at Christmas and Meg getting engaged. And then a couple of years after, she was commissioned to write part 2. And they usually now get released as just one book. So this is, part 2, which was originally called Good Wives.
Okay. Yeah, I think I might have heard that somewhere at some point.
Now, I will say the second half of this movie, not as good as the first, and especially as far as being an adaptation, but still fun. And we have to say goodbye to little Kirsten. Now we get Samantha. And this is how you should do Amy. There should be a younger version and an older version of her.
No, in general, I agree. And obviously when there is such a because obviously Florence Pugh would have been
just because there is such
at least
an age
like
gap.
22, 20, whatever at the time.
Yeah. Amy goes from 12 to 16. That's a big jump.
Yeah, sure.
So pretty, such a pretty film. Aunt March looks very disapproving.
So, random question, just because they're painting like these cups, but are you more of a tea or a coffee person?
Coffee. Definitely coffee. I'm not a tea drinker. I don't like tea at all. Well, you're British. I'm guessing you drink tea.
Well, I do,
Sorry, that was
but
very stereotypical of me.
Yeah, thank you, Rachel. Well, I'm one of these. It's not a binary thing. I mean, I do prefer coffee, but you know, I'm drinking tea right now. I can enjoy tea. So.
Well, I had my iced coffee from this morning.
Nice. Yeah. And do you get into the spirit of the season? Do you buy like those special themed coffees like that they do?
No. Really. I just like my iced mochas and that's it.
Fair enough. What about
Becca
you?
doesn't like either.
Really,
that's fair enough. I mean, both are an acquired taste. You know, tea to me is basically just
prefer cocoa,
just mildly flavored water, and coffee can be very strong.
Well, that makes you unique, Becca, anyway, because it's very few people who don't like either. It's like the Stones or the Beatles of drinks. Pretty much.
I'm personally a Beatles girl.
Yeah, that's probably fair. I mean, I think. No, I like both.
I hate that they made them kiss. They don't kiss in the book. Oh, look at that spit string.
I like a good mocha, Becca. That rhymes.
Mocha's good.
Mocha, Becca. Yeah.
This isn't going to go the way you want it to, Laurie. Just give up now.
Stupidly stubborn.
You can't even propose without quarreling.
Yes, his reaction to tea, I think in the first episode, was really funny, Becca. They are bringing it back for a season 4. It was recently announced.
Give it up, Laurie. It's not going to happen. See, this relationship, they mess up in this movie. Well, kind of. It's hard to do Laurie and Joe well. But when I was younger, I hated that they didn't end up together.
And I take it they do in the book.
No, they don't. And in the book, it's much better explained.
Much better. Okay.
The bottom line is, and what it comes down to is, Joe is not in love with Laurie. He's her best friend and she loves him like a brother, but she's never been in love with him. And so when he proposes, she obviously says no. But in most versions, they almost make it look like she regrets it. Like they make it look like she regrets it in the 2019 version. In this version, they do a little bit, but not that much. But I really wish that we had a version that, actually, no, the 2017 version does it quite well. Makes it very clear that she's not in love with him. but most Little Women fans want Joe and Laurie to be together. In fact, okay, so this is a fun story. Shows how fans and shippers have been around for
Exactly. Well, I was about to say that because
when Louisa wrote the first Little Women, the first half, which ends at Christmas, apparently afterwards she got dozens and dozens of fan letters asking if Joe and Laurie were going to be together and when are Joe and Laurie going to be together. And she got so pissed off that the fans like took that relationship to be romantic that she was like, screw you guys, I will not marry Joe off to Laurie just to please you. And that's why we don't get a Joe and Laurie relationship, because Louisa May Alcott was like, screw you guys, you completely missed the point. So this blue dress, again, you saw Meg wearing this dress earlier in the movie. So I like that we see Amy wearing it. And I think Samantha Mathis is not physically a bad choice, because I think she does look like little Kirsten Dunst has grown up into her. But yeah, it's... Oh, Amy. Aunt March is going to France. Oh no, Joe, you're not going to. No. Oh, poor Joe.
So this is older Amy who was seen in the.
Yes.
And who's the? Well, I can have a look on the thing. Oh, Samantha Mathis. Yeah.
Yeah, Samantha Mathis.
Yeah. Cool.
She's not a bad choice. They just don't write older Amy. Yeah, I know it is awkward, isn't it, Becca? Like, Joe's like so excited, like, yes, I'm gonna get to go to Europe. And Amy's like, no, sorry, she's taking me. Oh dear, poor Joe.
It's also interesting when you watch or read like stories from this time, and you know, like these people living in like because this is set in England, right? Or the UK?
America. This is America.
Oh, it's America. Yeah, okay. My bad. But you know, that sort of thing where it's like a big deal to go to like somewhere like France.
Yeah. And you go for like a couple of years.
Like you wouldn't, bit, you know.
Yeah.
But you know,
yeah. I love the old-timey thing of like sending people to the seaside for their health. I've been saying that for months. I've been like, someone needs to send me to the seaside for my health. That's where I'll get better.
Well, there is
it is still a big deal, Becca. Definitely, traveling is especially when you travel from Australia. Oy, we are so far away from everything.
It's not really, yeah. But that's what I was going to say. Like, if you're in America and you went all the way to Europe somewhere, that's still quite a big deal. Not as much as it would have been back ages ago, but still is.
Yeah. It's all right. Joe gets to go to New York instead.
Very nice.
It's not too shabby, is it?
Great city. I've been a few times.
I would love to. I really do want to visit New York one day.
It's great. Or Japan, yeah. Becca's been to Japan, of course.
Oh yeah, my parents actually literally just came back from Japan. They really liked it. This score.
Talking Japanese. I really think so.
Yeah, you know what that song's actually about, right?
I don't, so I was going to make an inappropriate, but what window wiper? Oh, okay. Hand jobs.
It's about masturbation.
Okay. One of the big three.
This is a very X-rated stream, considering we're watching such a lovely family-friendly film.
That's what's so funny. Yeah, New York is great. I mean, obviously, I would like to go to California one day because I think I would enjoy that, but maybe in a different way to New York.
My dad says San Francisco is supposed to be beautiful. When he went to the States for work when I was younger, he really loved San Francisco.
And I should do that thing of playing New York and California off again because they sort of have a rivalry.
East Coast versus West Coast. Yeah, it's a thing.
It's like, just get along. You're both great cities in your own way.
One of my favorite cities is London. I love London.
Okay. I know that actor from something, like the old guy in this scene.
Oh, okay.
The one with the facial hair. I've seen him from something.
There's Gabriel Byrne. Another casting choice I don't love, but it's better than Eric Stoltz.
Well, I fully agree. Gabriel Byrne is a better actor than Eric.
Yeah.
Not that Eric Stoltz is bad,
no,
but
Eric Stoltz is
in certain
fine.
roles he's fine.
Yeah,
but
he's not right for John
No,
Brooke,
no.
not for the kind of character that John Brooke is supposed to be. He's ashing on her portfolio, arsehole. Oh, Winona is just so pretty. Just such a perfect porcelain face. Oh, no wonder she just looks like she was meant for period dramas. There's some nice gloves again.
Yeah, that's a very old school thing as well, having your initials in like your book and things like that.
Oh no.
Because sometimes at our school and like when I went to college, they had like our name sort of thing in like the side of the folder. I don't know if you've. I'm sure they have that over there. Yeah. But again, nowadays with computers, I'm sure that's sort of going by the wayside.
He physically just doesn't.
Well, no, they're in America. I can't quite hear properly, but does he try to do an American accent? Is he?
No, the professor is
Irish, isn't he?
No, the professor is supposed to be German. So what you're hearing is his attempt to do a German accent.
Okay. I have to turn it up.
You know, I don't love Gabriel, but I think the way they write him in this is okay, but he doesn't look the way the professor is supposed to look. And because they cast Gabriel Byrne because they wanted to go for
German and Irish are two very different things.
Yeah. Well, I think they wanted, a slightly more attractive, off the moment guy to make up for the fact that she doesn't end up with, Christian Bale. Sure. But the professor is not supposed to look like this. He's supposed to have like a big beard and be quite homely looking.
He paid years later when he was in Stigmata.
Oh, yes,
The film that basically sidetracked both his and Patricia Arquette.
I know. You know what? Stigmata wasn't the worst movie.
I've never seen it. It looks absolutely atrocious.
We should try it one time. It's pretty cheesy.
Yeah, it could be a fun, bad watch. Yeah, but I saw because I listened to like the Ricky Gervais like podcast and show with like Carl Pilkington and Steve and like for his wacky quizzes that he came up, Carl always came up with these really like lame prizes and it's a running gag that they mock him for like how bad the prizes are.
Okay.
And one of them was Stigmata. It's like, we've got a really big movie for you as a prize.
Oh dear.
It's like Stigmata. And it's like once they did a thing where he had the White Stripes Christmas single and it's sort of like the middle of the year and they said, oh, so that's ahead of time, right? Or is it last year's? They're always mocking him for having like things on like VHS and like really sort of.
Hey, VHS will become valuable one day. It's going to swing around and everyone's going to be wanting to buy like collector VHS tapes. Man, when I was a little 10-year-old girl, and Gabriel Byrne looked like an old dude, which is hilarious because we're now the same age. I hated that Winona Ryder ended up, well, sorry, spoilers, guys, but I mean, it's kind of obvious that she ended up with him and not Christian Bale. And then I had Sense and Sensibility where Kate Winslet ends up with an old dude as well. And it was like, come on, why are all these girls ending up with old dudes? Can't someone date someone their own age?
Yeah, but I don't know, because I've never read the novel to Sense. I did try. I struggled with it, but
It's a bit hard to read. Oh, it's true to the novel.
Well, I mean, Pride and Prejudice isn't, because that's such a sort of a. I mean, not that it's the most amazing novel, but it is a very easy novel to read. And I also enjoyed Northanger Abbey, but that was sort of doing something a little bit different for the time. But yeah, no, Sense and Sensibility was a bit stuffed and overlong. And
but I love the movie. The movie is so beautiful
to read, but.
The opposite for Claire and Shop Girl, though.
Yeah, see, I need to watch that, but the only thing is, Steve Martin writes the screenplay, which is a bit dodgy because he's the one in the movie who, I mean, they don't actually have a relationship, but I've heard the whole thing about something that happens is that even though she barely knows him, he offers to pay off her student loans. And apparently she's like, okay, yeah, that's fine. You
know what? Given what American student loans are like, I'd probably say the same thing too. I wouldn't look at just forcing them out. Yeah, no, Becca. Now that I'm older, I can definitely appreciate it. And after, because I saw this movie before I read the book. So once I read the book and I read about Joe's relationship with the professor and how beautiful it actually is in the book, I like it much more.
Yeah.
But I think the issue is, like, Winona and Christian have such fantastic chemistry in this movie, and she doesn't have the same type of chemistry with Gabriel Byrne. So for me, it just doesn't translate as well. But still better than the 2019 version, where the professor is young and French.
And that actor I can't stand because he plays the same character over and over, and is just so overrated.
It was such a bad choice. It was such a bad choice. Oh, this is one scene in this movie
has
I don't like.
And it's just a wanker.
Tell us what you really feel, Keith.
Fucking that Wonka movie.
Oh, you'll recognize an actor in here, I think. Him. He's gone on to do much more. Now he's gone.
Yeah. Timothy Chalamet. The one, yeah, I saw him a minute ago.
You'll see him again in a
recognize.
And women should vote, not because they're animals and men are animals, but here we go.
You mean him that the camera's on now? Yeah, I do. Yeah. I can't say what I know him.
Yeah. Oh, he's been around. I know he was in Gotham. He's been in a few other things. He did a guest stint on SVU for several episodes. You'll definitely, he'll.
Well, this is typical of me, but I know him from an episode of The X-Files.
Oh, that makes sense.
Yeah. I think he either plays an colleague of Mulder or Scully who brings them a case, and I think it's Mulder because he does that really douchey thing of he takes credit for the work that Mulder does.
Oh, okay.
Because he's trying to. It's even like an ex-colleague of Mulder or Scully, but yeah. I think he does play douchey characters quite a lot because he is very douchey in that episode. I think it's Scully because she has that great line about because he's trying to work his way up the ladder, and when it's after he's taken credit for Mulder's work, she said, well, if that's what it takes, I want no part of it, and don't let the ladder hit you in the ass on the way down or something like that, and walks away. Yeah, the only thing I was going to add about that whole, older, younger type relationship thing is I think a lot of times if something is well written, you can invest in the relationship. And I'm not always someone to say, I mean, as long as the age gap isn't too extreme, I think older, younger, as long as they're both of mature age, where they can make their own decisions, then
definitely. And like I said, sorry,
40 and a 60-year-old, I have no problem with that. And I have no problem with maybe a 25 or 28-year-old going out with a 45-year-old, as long as there's love and they're making their own decisions.
Definitely.
But it's just I think partly what we're talking about here is we're looking at it now through a 2024 lens, where this stuff in the past was a bit overdone, of having an older, experienced man.
There in the past, in the 1860s, and especially in Austen's time in the 1700s, as a woman, finding an older man was a good thing because you could find someone who was established. But no, the thing is with Joe and the Professor. In the book, it's written very, very well. It starts as a friendship, and they form a really close friendship. And then when he does come back into her life, when they get together, obviously they romance it up a little bit for this. Like obviously this scene here where they're at the opera, this isn't in the book. They just, you need a bit more romance. It's more that when you're 10 years old, you don't really want your favorite character to end up with an old dude, because you're 10 and it's like, oh, it's an old guy, Oh, the opera. You know what? I keep watching the film because I've seen this movie a million times, but I'm going to use this scene because I don't love it that much to just quickly duck to the bathroom. I will be right back. So I'll just put my camera off. I'll be back in just a few minutes.
Yeah, no problem. So there's 3 of you in the chat. So anyone who wants to say terrible things about Rachel, you've got a window of about 2 or 3 minutes. So let me have it. There you go. There you go. Make Aussie great again. I can't believe I just made that joke. Damn it, I could get cancelled.
Why are all these girls making out in inappropriate corners with old men? 1860, man.
Too soon. Very good.
Oh, is this that theory that Australia doesn't exist?
Yeah. Well, yeah.
Thanks, Becca.
So the joke was, I told chat that they've got a 2 or 3 minute window to just insult Rachel while she's off. So Rachel, Becca came back with that, and then I made a bit close to the mark joke, but I said make Australia great again.
Oh, ew. Oh. Hello.
Damn, that's some scary facial hair.
Oh yeah, Christian Bale, creepy.
He looks like D'Artagnan.
I hate this facial hair. I hate it so much.
Yeah, the other 2 must be asleep. They've been lurking for ages, Becca.
Maybe they're just enjoying the movie.
Maybe it's a good movie. So just about because we just had the opera scene, which apparently you hate.
I don't hate it. It's just
I mean, there's not really with those actors. There's not really that much chemistry, even though they're both good actors. But it feels like it's a little bit forced. But I think obviously it's meant to represent like a young girl finding her way in the world.
Absolutely. It's supposed to be showing Joe opening up to romance and opening up to like
different kinds of relationships.
Exactly. Yes. And I get that, but I just, like I said, I think the relationships in the second half, like the romantic relationships, are not well handled. Not in this movie. I love this movie more for the family feel and for the girls. In case you missed it, there's Freddie Vaughn again, trying to move in on Amy. Laurie's like, not on my watch.
Yeah, so I think it's maybe a mixture of it being quite a badly written, and also they don't have chemistry, and that's sort of a thing. No, even the best actors, you either have chemistry or you don't sometimes.
They have a couple of cute scenes, her and the Professor, but yeah, for the most part, I just think Gabriel Byrne, he and Eric Stoltz, I think they are the only 2 in this film that are just completely miscast. They could have found better casting for both of them.
Okay, fair enough.
But again, I would take Gabriel Byrne over the creepy, annoying young French dude who's in the 2019 version. So, yeah. God, look at what these girls used to sleep in. Like, I could not imagine sleeping in something that, like, it's so long and, like, you get so tangled up in it and, like, it's crazy. Oh, this scene. Oh, I hate this scene so much.
So why do you hate this scene so much?
You will see. You're about to see why I hate this scene so much.
Okay. Those are weapons, which Patrick Bateman used years later, probably to kill a few people. Blunt and natural.
And without the creepy mustache.
So,
oh, here's the boob.
Fucking. Oh, yeah, that's so old school, that sort of plot, that small. I just don't think Christian Bale really does charming. Like, I don't think he's a good romantic lead. As good an actor as he is, I don't think he's. I mean, maybe when he was younger, a little bit he could have been, but in general, I think he does the more brooding.
He definitely works, in this movie better in the first half, where he's just playing Laurie as like their friend and neighbor, as opposed to when he's turned into, well, this.
Did I ever go on a rant with you about that horrible movie he was in where he played Edgar Allan Poe from a couple?
Yes, you did. You said it was awful. Okay. It also had the guy from Harry Potter in it, and I remember you saying that it was terrible, which is a pity because I thought it looked interesting.
Yeah, like I thought it had potential, but it was really bad, that movie.
People are going to have fun with the expressions I'm making during this scene.
By the way, here's an interesting one for next year, which probably could go either way. But it's an Apple TV movie. It's released on Valentine's Day. But it's from Scott Derrickson, who did The Black Phone and also Exorcism of Emily Rose and Doctor Strange, that Marvel. So he's got a bit of a mixture. But it's got Anya Taylor-Joy in, who's normally obviously great. It also got Miles Teller in as the co-lead, who I don't really like, but, I think he's a bit boring. But they're the two leads. I mean, you didn't hear who the female lead was.
Who was it?
Anya Taylor-Joy.
Yeah, Anya Taylor-Joy. Yeah.
So that's, But it's a spy type thing. It's sort of but it's called The Gorge. And unfortunately, it's not a play on words of the word gorgeous. It's just a gorge as in like a gorge, like
that's what I figured. Yeah, that's what I would think. Yeah,
I know, but that's just my game. But they're both like spies who are like guarding this gorge. So at least looks like it'll have good visuals. But I mean, it looks like one of those where I think it will work if it doesn't take itself too seriously. Like, it'll work if it's just turn your brain off sort of thrills, that kind of movie. But we'll see. Yeah, it could be good. I'm just up and down on that director, Becca, but we'll see. Two of them.
My face during that scene, Becca. It's okay. Keith missed my least favorite line in this movie. God knows who wrote that freaking line. The way they handle Amy and Laurie in this movie, it's just not good. Yeah, so you were right, Keith. Laurie ends up with Amy, older Amy. And in the book, it's done fantastically, but you just can't do it well in the movie because in the book, you have him moving on from Joe and the proposal. And when he and Amy meet up again, they actually spend a couple of months together and it's actually done really well. But in this, he has this horrible line where he's all like, oh, just as you've always known you'd never marry a pauper, I have always known I shouldn't be part of the March family. And it's like, really? Who wrote that line? So yeah, they just don't work in this. But
so in a way, it sounds like you don't actually like this movie.
No, I love this movie. I just don't like that part.
So it's like a 6 out of 10 now?
Wait, no, this movie's still a 10 out of 10. It's a 10 out of 10 movie. It's maybe an 8 out of 10 adaptation.
Okay. Yeah. Okay.
But I can enjoy it just, as a movie.
Sure.
No, I think the problem with Amy and Laurie is that you need the book. You need the time to read that he's moved on from Joe and that his feelings for Amy are genuine. The movie, unfortunately, just doesn't have that time to dedicate to it, which is a bit
I don't think you mentioned this, but who's in the miniseries? The one you mentioned earlier. Is there anyone? Or
so Maya Hawke, you definitely recognize.
Is that
the other girls?
That
the
is
girl
pre-Stranger Things, isn't it? Or
yes,
her coming into Stranger Things.
The girl who plays Amy in the 2017 miniseries is, I can't remember her name, but she was in Freaky.
And also, Catherine Newton.
Catherine
I
Newton.
like her. Yeah,
plays Amy, so you'd recognize her. Emily Mortimer. I think it's Emily Mortimer. No, not her. Different Emily. The woman who plays Marmee, you definitely recognize her face. I just can't remember her name. And then there's a couple of other actors that I know from like TV. Like there's an actor who was in Pretty Little Liars and like a couple of others. And Angela Lansbury is Aunt March.
Oh, very nice. Sounds like
so it's not a bad cast. It's not a bad adaptation, and it manages to develop some of the relationships a bit better than other adaptations have. But it's also a BBC production, so it does look a little cheap, and the chemistry between the girls is not always fabulous.
I'm just teasing her, Becca. She knows that. Hey, at the end of the day, our favourite films sometimes, like you've said, are personal. They're not always the films.
And this one's definitely a personal one for me. Yeah. Like I said, as an actual film, I still think this film is like fantastic. But yeah, as an adaptation, I do have some nitpicks. But I think that's, that happens with most adaptations. I think there's only like maybe 2 adaptations out there that I actually think are perfect and adapt the books perfectly. But yeah, this one's close.
Well, I think, again, that's a future debate for us to film, because I think I am a bit more, I accept it more as an adaptation, as some, if you're going to do an adaptation from book to screen, I am a bit more in favor of making changes, unless it happens to be a book where it's very easy to just translate it to screen.
So. I don't mind changes as long as they make sense. What I don't like is when they make changes that either don't make sense to the original novel or don't make sense to the characters. So yeah. But I understand that you always have to adapt things. I mean, even this, the first half, which I think is perfect, definitely makes some changes and, switches things around to make more sense. Oh my God, okay, we can't talk through this scene. This scene needs to be just watched. Prepare for Rachel to cry.
I was going to go get another drink, but I'll be respectful for the scene and then quickly get a drink. Wait, is that on your end or my end?
What?
Well, there was just a really loud feedback sound. I don't know.
Oh, I can turn mine down.
Oh, it might just be from yours. Yeah. Okay.
I think this scene finally gives Claire the chance to, show her acting chops.
Yeah, and she showed from a very young age, that she was really years ahead of her age, really. Yeah, it's very good for someone that young. Like, she's note perfect, really, in My So-Called Life. I mean, obviously it helps, and she was a teenager at the time, pretty much, but she's
15 in this film. She was only 15 here.
Yeah. Yeah, this is the same year as My So-Called Life. So I'm guessing that was done before this, because then
I think while this was being done, because in my behind the scenes feature, they say Claire Danes of My So-Called Life plays Beth. So yeah, it must have just been, oh my God, this moment.
Fun. She is great, Becca, and I think she's even underrated, even though she's been in quite a lot of big films and TV shows. I still don't think she gets the due she deserves overall compared to some actresses or actors.
No, I'm fine. No tears here.
I mean, it's not. It's very sad.
So when they filmed,
it's not
this,
quite the Tiffany and Chucky sex scene, but it's very sad.
In the audio commentary, Gillian Armstrong talks about this scene, and they filmed this scene, and Winona and Claire were emotionally exhausted, and had given it their all. And then when they watched the dailies, they found that the video had been corrupted. The film had been corrupted. So they had to film it again. And apparently Winona was so pissed off that she had to do this scene again that she wouldn't talk to Gillian for like a day. But the good thing is that scene where Joe climbs up next to Beth's body, that was added on the second day. On the second day, someone who had lost someone suggested that she lie next to the body, or lie next to Claire. And so we got that beautiful shot. So it was bad, but it ended up giving us that really, I just really love that she climbs up next to Beth. And poor Winona was just like apparently furious that she had to do this scene again because it had taken so much out of her to do it the first time. Every time I think of Beth dying, I think of Friends when Joey's reading Little Women and Rachel's reading The Shining, and they keep spoiling it for each other. Like, Beth died. Is that true? If I keep reading, is Beth going to die?
I've got to say, not that I'm shitting on it, but in sort of cliff notes or when you're mentoring certain gags from Friends, it suddenly seems like a much better show. Well, it's one of those weird sort of shows that I remember being on at the time, and I was watching for a while. But I was only really watching it because it was the show which people were watching at that time. Whereas when I started watching other like sitcoms like Seinfeld and what have you, I now see, like, I can see why Friends is so successful because it is so easy to watch, and obviously New York setting, the cast, different things. But I just feel it is a background type of show. I don't really see it as being as like brilliantly funny as many shows that came before or even after it.
Okay, interesting. No, I've always found Friends hilarious.
But maybe if I went back and watched it and had a good run of episodes, maybe
that episode is a good one because Rachel comes over and she goes to like get something out of their freezer and she's like, Joey, why is there a copy of The Shining in the freezer? Oh, well, I was watching and I got scared, so I put it there to be safe. So you're safer from it in the freezer. Oh, yeah. And then, he talks about how he's read it a lot of times. And he's like, well, haven't you ever read the same book over and over? And she's like, well, yeah, Little Women, but, that's a classic. So they swap books. And there's this great scene when Joey's sitting in Central Perk and he's reading the book and he's like, whoa. He's like, these Little Women. Wow.
That's great.
It's so good.
That's great.
But then she's like, Beth dies. Like, no, she doesn't die. What? Joey's just asking if you've just ruined the first book he's ever loved that didn't star Jack Nicholson.
Yeah, I did watch it. It was a couple of years ago, I think, on stream. But there's like a New Year's Eve episode of Friends.
There's a couple of New Year's Eve episodes.
Well, I mean the one when they're doing the thing at the studio. I can't remember.
Yes, with the routine.
Yeah, I remember that one being funny. Yeah.
Oh, you can't get into Friends? It's not for everyone, Becca, but yeah, I loved it. And I was a 90s kid, so it was like literally the sitcom of like when I was growing up.
Yeah, that's fair.
Becca, I will throw you off this stream. No. Okay, I tell you what. We'll do a 29. We'll do a screening
hasn't finished. I've got news for you. There's zombies
version
at the end of this version, Becca. You might change your mind.
We'll stream a 2019 version, and you can hear all of the ways that it is a terrible adaptation.
That's going to be a torturous stream for myself.
Mm-hmm. You'll have to mute me because I will not shut up. I have complaints about every single scene of that movie.
Greta Gerwig is co-writing something next year.
Chronicles of Narnia?
No, it's not that.
Oh, okay.
It's something else. It was something with a director, I think, who I quite like. But I mean, I don't mind her. I mean, obviously, you've got a grudge because of how much you hate her Little Women. But
yeah, but see, that's the thing, Becca. I don't think it is a good film. See, that's the thing. Like, even if I look at the 2019 version as not an adaptation, I still don't think it's a good film. Like, I just don't. Maybe I just don't like Greta Gerwig that much. But yeah, I
know sometimes you don't like films that try to be a bit too hip and arty, and so probably that's partly. And I don't always like that neither. So, and I think that's why I took against it. Like, personally for me, and it's partly because I have nothing attached to the book or it. I didn't really care if it was a bad adaptation because I think at this point, if you're doing a modern Little Women, they should. I kind of like the ambition of doing something completely different with it, but it just didn't work for me. I just thought it was a little bit up its own arse a bit. And
I hated the going back and forth between the timelines because it really lessened the effect. First of all, it takes you a while to figure out like which timeline you're in. And second, like there's things like, for example, they do Beth's death, okay? But then because we're doing flashbacks, we literally see Beth alive in the very next scene. It's stupid. Oh, okay. I love this scene. So this is where Jo's writing her book. And you hear lines from the actual novel. They put lines from the actual novel in here. So these voiceovers, these are lines straight from the book, which I love.
And also, I'm automatically going to prefer this movie because it doesn't have Timothée Chalamet in.
Yes.
Fuck off.
Stupid Timothée Chalamet. He was such a bad Laurie. He was such a creepy little Laurie. Ugh. And I didn't love the casting for the 2019 one either. Like Laura Dern as Marmee, I love Laura Dern, I really do. But like, she didn't have the motherly like.
Is that's the Susan Sarandon role?
Yes. Susan Sarandon feels like Marmee. She feels warm and but she just didn't in that one. I mean, the girls were okay.
Maybe
Florence Pugh was older Amy, fine. Emma Watson was fine. I think she was better than most.
Yeah, I didn't really like Emma Watson in it, but
but
I just found the character a bit annoying.
The character wasn't written well enough. She was far too meek, especially like Meg is a meeker character, but she also has her own fire, and I didn't feel like Emma got that. Saoirse Ronan as Jo was fine, but no one can beat Winona because Winona is just
no. And that's the thing. I mean, overall, that movie has a solid cast. Yeah, I mean, we've seen what Florence Pugh has done since. I mean, she's a great actress, but like.
I think Saoirse's a good actress too. I've seen her in other stuff, and she's
so do I. And you know, like I said, Chris Cooper's in there. I always like him, but you know, overall, top to bottom, this film has a better cast.
Definitely,
and it seems like they get a better.
This film is beautiful as well. Like the way it looks is gorgeous. I think the cinematography is gorgeous. The production value is gorgeous. Oh my god, I'm going to do one tiny little the costuming in the 2019 version is terrible. Terrible. And it somehow won Best Oscar. Oh, look, here's creepy Aristotle again.
Surprise.
John, you have a daughter. And a son. Poor Meg does give birth to twins in the book as well. It's like the only scene I like him in. The only scene where I think he's okay. The rest of the time, I'm like, get away from here.
Well, yeah, he just had to smile.
Exactly.
Imagine.
Just had to look happy at the babies. Yeah. Oh, God, the score to this film, though. The score.
Yeah, the music is... I mean, Thomas Newman is so good.
But it's another one of those scores, which, again, you wouldn't like feel this because you haven't read the book. But for me, it's like the book come to life. Like when I hear the score, I'm like, yes, that's Little Women. Flavor. Yeah. Oh, babies.
And that's always the hardest part about adaptation is giving a life to the book on screen.
Yes. That's what I feel this one does so well. Like, even though there are little parts that I can nitpick at, overall, this movie gives me the same feeling that the book does. It makes me feel warm and happy and, family and, everything.
Yeah, absolutely.
Someone please shave Christian Bale. This mustache is so creepy. At least he got rid of the goatee. Amy. Oh, and Joe and Amy's relationship in the 2019 version. Oh, good God, I wanted to kill Greta Gerwig for the way she wrote that relationship. Seriously, I watched that movie and I'm like, woman, did you even read the book? I don't think she did.
And what was the comment that pissed you off from Meryl Streep? You have to remind me. Didn't she make some...
Oh, yes. Meryl Streep made some comment about how Greta Gerwig's version is the first female-led version. It's the first version produced by women. It's like, no, it's not. This one was written, produced, and directed by a female. Okay, Meryl Streep? So you can shove it up your butt.
Yeah, I mean, I tell you what happened there is like they were doing the whole award season thing, and she was in the mold of, and I'm sure she did feel passionate about
I get it, but it's like, it's just a blatant lie.
She got a bit carried away and said something which was kind of dumb, and it's like, do your research.
Becca's humming Let It Go. I will never let it go, Becca.
Oh, brother.
Oh, you think that's bad? You should hear me talk about the film adaptation of the book, The Power of One. I'll have to do a video one day. My top favorite and least favorite adaptation.
Nothing to do with Highlander, I'm guessing, or anything. It sounds like a line out of Highlander or something. I think it's that there can only be one. That's
okay. No, it's a book I loved when I was younger, and they made a film adaptation of it in the early 90s, and it was shit.
Okay.
Oh, shit.
No idea. First I've heard of it tonight.
Oh, really? You've never heard of The Power of One? It was like
a maybe it was busy. Okay.
The movie's got Stephen Dorff and Morgan Freeman. It's shit.
Oh, that's a shame. Because that's sort of like, if Brad Pitt wasn't cast in Seven, they could have cast Stephen Dorff to go.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
That could have worked.
No, that's right. Aunt March has died and left her plum field. You know what? Being left property back then, that was decent. She could do a lot with that house. Oh, God, so gorgeous. Oh, puppy. Oh, they brought a puppy home to cute with all the kittens. Her book. Now, this, of course, is fabricated. This doesn't actually happen in the novel, but I understand why they decide to do it.
They wanted to have,
Yeah, no, it makes sense. Plus, it also then...
the magic manuscript.
Yeah. And it also, gives a reason for Joe's voiceover. Like you can imagine that she's just narrating her book.
It's a Christmas miracle, everyone. We might do that another time. We won't do it this year because this is obviously the last stream which we're doing before Christmas. So not this year, but maybe next year, because I did enjoy that film when I saw it at the cinema. Friedrich! Oh, of course, he's German. Yeah, Friedrich.
Yeah, Friedrich Bear.
I didn't catch his name earlier.
God, she's ungainly when she runs. It's perfect. It's exactly what Joe should be.
From the little I've heard, I don't think his German accent sounds that bad, but
it's not too bad,
quite
actually.
low, yeah.
Oh, her face is just so perfect. It should not be legal for someone to have such a perfect freaking face.
So is this your favourite Winona Ryder role, or is there a role you like more?
Absolutely.
No,
it makes
sense, and it would be. There's a few to choose from.
Yeah, like this one probably is, but I've got to say Veronica from Heathers comes a very close second, because Veronica is so great. And she is so great as Veronica. But this was my intro to Jo, and to Winona. And Jo March is like one of my favorite characters. Like, she's in my top 10 favorite characters of all time. So having Winona play her so perfectly, this would be my favorite Winona role. But yeah, Veronica, like this far behind.
That's something we should do. Maybe each come up with our top 10 Winona Ryder roles. There would definitely be crossovers, but definitely maybe some differences as well. So that would be fun.
I love her, and I love that we share a birthday.
She taught you all you know, including how to shoplift, right, Rachel?
I have never shoplifted. Hang on, wait. I think I stole a nail polish when I was like 17.
Okay. We all did.
You stole nail polish, did you?
Yeah. Well, for my girlfriend at the time.
Oh, sure, for your girlfriend.
So it was.
That's romantic. Here, sweetie, I shoplifted this for you. That's on par with my boyfriend from high school who bought me a pack of cigarettes for Valentine's Day.
Oh, lovely.
I know, right?
I can't think why that didn't work out.
I like that Jo ends up happy. I love this line too. My hands are empty. They're not empty now.
Okay, that's a bad line.
No, it's adorable.
They should have, if that's in the book, they should have taken that out. They should have taken. That's a bad line.
No, it's adorable.
Some lines work better in the novel than they do on film.
Oh my god.
Well, it's a good final scene, but that line sucks.
Oh, such a beautiful movie. I love it. Thank you for watching it on stream with me.
No problem.
So good. Yeah. And thank you, Becca. Sorry that I tend to tear down the 2019 one so badly, but it's just because it's so bad. If it wasn't so bad, I wouldn't have to tear it down so much.
Oh, that's funny. A couple of the cast seem to have the surname Moffat. And you've, of course, got Stephen Moffat, who's the Doctor Who writer. And so I wonder if...
Not a fan of Moffat.
Why? I thought you weren't invested in Doctor Who. I thought that was more...
No, I'm not. I just don't like him. He's kind of an ass. And there's this great video on YouTube that I'll send to you about...
He ran over one of your cats, I see.
Yeah, exactly. No, about the way that he writes female characters and treats female characters, and it's just not great.
Oh, yeah, I was going to... No, he's not the... No, never mind.
Okay.
No, it's Russell T Davies who's gay, isn't it? I was thinking he was the gay one, in which case I would have been surprised, but he... I think out. Yeah, have a good one. I'm glad you enjoyed the film, Becca. Take care. Yeah, no. I think out of the two, Russell T Davies is meant to be the better writer. Because he actually did like a British sitcom called Coupling, which is
yes, I've heard of Coupling. Yeah,
sort of like the UK version of Friends.
Yeah,
sort of thing. Yeah, that's a fun sitcom. Yeah, good stuff. So, okay, if you want my rating, because I mean, I always, when I saw this when I was younger, I enjoyed the movie as well, and it holds up, and because it's a good adaptation for fans of the book. I'll give it a out of 10.
Yeah, that's decent. I think that's
because it's a good movie with a good cast, well-told story, a couple of really emotional moments, good music. I mean, across the board, it's a pretty well-done movie. But the fact that it also satisfies people like you know, the vested fans, I think that makes me give it like an 8 out of 10. So
nice. No, I like that. I think that's a really fair score. I'm very happy with that. Like, I personally give this movie a 10, but that's my bias coming in, you know, because I love it and because I have loved it for so many years. If I was rating it like fairly as a movie, I'd probably go like 8 or 9 because it does have a couple of little flaws here and there. And I do think the second half, like, I don't know if you noticed, but like Meg just vanishes in the second half. Like, they marry her and then she just disappears, which is a bit of a pity because Meg does have her own storyline in the books. But like, I understand that particular. Oh, I don't know if you see that dedicated to Polly Hannah Klaas at the end there.
Yeah, I think I did. Yeah.
Polly Klaas was a girl who disappeared from Winona's hometown, and Winona was very actively involved in the search for her and donated a lot of money to find her. And so that's why this movie is dedicated to her. Yeah. But you know, I love this film. It's just like I say, it's just such a comfort film, and that's kind of one of the reasons that the novel is my favorite novel. Like, I've heard people, like my dad's asked me, like, you know, why do you love this novel so much? It's not like, because it's not, you know, it doesn't have any kind of deep message or theme or anything like that. But for me, it's such a comfort, and the way the novel is told, you can open up the novel almost at any chapter and just read like a little story. Like, all the stories are like little like, you know, self-contained. I love the characterization, and yeah, just this movie I have loved since I was 10. I'm pretty sure this is one of the ones where I wore the VHS out because I watched it so often. So that was really fun, and I hope whoever watched along with us had a lot of fun because it definitely has a Christmassy vibe to it. You know, it's not a Christmas movie, but it's got the Christmas vibes.
So yeah, it was definitely a good choice to do, and yeah, probably just for the fun of it, we will do the 2019 at some point, and I might have to mute as Rachel rants and raves. But yeah, we got a bit of everything tonight. We got me doing the fake orgasm from. I hope people enjoyed that moment, and yeah, you know, obviously lots to come over. I'm posting a lot of stuff over the Christmas period, like I said, for you guys to enjoy. I'm hoping to put together a best of the year with some compilation highlights. Already, as I said earlier, we've got the top 10 not Christmas animated movies, which we did that list. So that's going up on Christmas Day. Couple of other things. I mean, speaking of fiction and stuff, I have been making my way through The Haunting of Hill House. So I'm getting quite close to the end of that book, but I'm reading chapters out on stream. So if anyone's interested in dropping by, the next one will be Thursday. I'll be reading chapter 7. So that's something a bit different. But Rachel, I will give you a chance now to plug your channel once again.
Oh yeah, guys, you can follow me, Rachel Macdonald, video essays on TV shows and movies. I don't really have anything out for Christmas, but I'm hoping in the new year to get some new stuff up. My Tumblr and Instagram are also linked through there. I am very, very active on Tumblr and becoming more active on Instagram. So come and follow me everywhere.
Nice one. Okay, well, since this is the last live stream, we'll do this side of Christmas. We'll wish you all a happy Christmas and hopefully see some of you around at some point in the next couple of weeks. But take care. Have a good holidays, guys, and a great 2025 as well. We'll see you all again soon. Take care. Bye. Okay.